Turning to my motion C1 in relation to smartphones in schools, I am genuinely sorry that we're still in a position where we felt it was necessary to table another amendment to clarify the government's position. We do welcome the progress that's been made in putting the guidance on a statutory footing and the refinement of the case studies which are included alongside the guidance itself. And as the Noble Baroness, the Minister, referred to, I'm very grateful to the meeting I had with the Honourable Member for Reading West and Mid Berkshire earlier today, the Minister responsible for this policy area, who met with me and my noble friend Lord Agnew earlier. And I took away from that her undoubted personal commitment to see an end to the disruption and distraction caused particularly by smartphones in schools. She stated clearly in our meeting that she did not want children distracted by a smartphone vibrating in their pocket or in their book bag, and we agree with her entirely. We welcome the comments that the Noble Baroness, the Minister, made just now on enforcement and the commitment of the government to improve the guidance if it becomes apparent that that enforcement is not working. And although I would like to see it sooner, and I hope when the Noble Lady comes to close she can give us some time frame in which the government would commit to review that. I think the timing of the next behaviour survey would be a good moment to review it. But just to be clear, what the behaviour survey last year, 24-25, showed was that 17% of school leaders in secondary believed that their mobile phones were rarely or never followed. 34% of pupils in the same schools thought they were rarely or never followed. Or putting it the other way round, 82% of school leaders in secondaries thought that their mobile phone policies were followed all or most of the time. That compared to 38% of pupils in the same schools. And sadly, we know who's right in that regard. So I won't, based on the reassurance, particularly if the Noble Lady can give us some idea on timing, test the opinion of the House today. I think the message from the government is clear, that they don't want to see, not heard policies, particularly in relation to smartphones. But just to take one quote from a teenage witness in the judicial review of Montgomery and others against the Secretary of State for Education, who said, and I quote, "Not seen, not heard didn't stop us using our smartphones at school. It just made us more discreet." This was an outstanding school where enforcement was claimed to be strong. And the reason we think this is so important, and I appreciate many noble lords may feel like we're dancing on the head of one of the smallest pins ever manufactured, but these policies outsource enforcement to chance. And if a smartphone isn't seen, then effectively it doesn't exist. It creates huge amounts of work for school staff with constant low-level boundary testing, pockets, toilets, corridors, under the desk, and so forth. And it's just not where we want our teachers spending their time, and we don't want children being exposed to harmful or upsetting content through the school day. We don't want them, over a quarter said they were photographed against their wishes, and almost a third said they thought they'd have got higher GCSE grades if they hadn't had smartphones in schools. And educational psychologists are absolutely clear that particularly for neurodivergent children, the distraction is even more pronounced. Having a smartphone in their bag makes learning harder because it takes extra mental effort to ignore it, which can make it tougher to focus and push through when work becomes challenging. We owe it, my lords, to pupils and teachers to close the loophole in the government's position. I hope very much, and I trust both ministers involved, that they will continue to push to do so. But if it doesn't work, that in short order we will see one or two sentences added to the guidance that really does, in the words of the government, make it crystal clear.
Yeah.